Good morning. It's the day after we dropped, still in Reno, Nevada. I picked up a transfer tank yesterday. I did not know, and I wasn't aware that this is an electric transfer tank, meaning it has a pump that pulls the gas from this tank into the fuel line. And so that changes things obviously a little bit because it's not gravity fed, meaning it's not like an easy hookup. I gotta plug it up to wires and stuff. I decided that that was out of my range of mechanically inclined capabilities, and I decided to call it a night and get up in the morning, which is now first thing in the morning, head over to a dealer, an authorized dealer of the company that I bought. It's called Transfer Flow, and so they have a shop out here about 10 minutes away that knows how to install these, and so that's where I'm going right now. They open at 8 o'clock, so I will be there right at 8 o'clock. Hopefully, so apparently because it connects that same piece that most of our EDLs connect to under your steering wheel, the wiring that they have for it now goes to that. But I called the company, and the company said that you can set it up to where it's more of a manual thing, where they'll put like a toggle switch in the cab and I can just toggle it on, rather than it like electronically monitoring and reading the computer of the truck. So we're gonna go there, fingers crossed that they can get something hooked up, that they can do it fairly quickly with it before noon, and I can get back on the road back to Texas. My dispatcher's on the load boards trying to find me a load now, and I asked her to give me a little bit of time because I don't want to carry just an empty transfer tank all the way home. I did drill the holes yesterday. Chris, the guy who sold it to me, older gentleman, he assisted me in getting the hose lined up and drilling the holes, and we didn't secure it because we still got to do the wiring. So we'll see how it goes. I'll keep y'all updated. It's a beautiful day in Nevada. Nevada is again, I don't know, I might be falling in love with Nevada. I might move. I'm lying, I never leave Texas, but Nevada is definitely a beautiful place, and I guess at this time of the year as well, it's just, I mean, the temperature's very cool, the sun's out, the sky's clear, just very beautiful weather. So yeah, all right, well, I will talk to y'all later. Peace. What's up, y'all? So pardon my appearance, been working on the truck all day. So I'm a mess. Been out here for some hours now, but I am over here at, I forgot what the spot was called. High Rolling Customs. It's in Sparks, Nevada. It's like 10 minutes from Reno, and my guy is Adam is the owner, been here 15 years, great dude. He's been getting my auxiliary tank installed. So as I said, I went and picked up an auxiliary tank yesterday. The company, Transfer Flow, make specific tanks and like electronics for certain trucks. So here's my tank and toolbox, and all of these wires came with it, and this electric mechanism. And as you can see, this was for a 2011 Ford F350, and so this would not work for my truck. From what I was told, the readings would be all wrong. Now I think they're on tracks 4 now, come up with new ones. So I talked to the company this morning, Transfer Flow, because they're based out of California, and asked them sort of how I can go about it. And they told me that if I took it up to one of these shops, that they'd be able to install and updated tracks for me. Well, the problem is none of these shops carry these, and they'd have to order them. And so I went to a couple shops. They're all on one road, about 4 of them all down this road, which I don't know what it's called right now, but came down here, dropped the trailer over there. But yeah, so because we weren't able to do that, what we decided to do is run a manual switch to the front. So instead of running this device all the way to the front, what we did is we ran the switch here will cut my pump on. So this isn't a gravity fed tank, which is what I wanted. I wanted a gravity fed tank, but this is what I found. Got a really good deal for it, so we're making it work. So pretty much instead of gravity fed, it's pump fed. So the bottom right there where the indentation is the tank. I think it's a 41-gallon tank if I'm not mistaken, and then the top is a toolbox. There's a pump under this cap, which I literally just put it back on before starting the video. Pull this off real quick. I can't pull it off right now, but there's a pump right under here, and the hole is right here, and it sucks the diesel up and then through this hose down into the fuel line. So you got a little T connector that you connect into the fuel line, and the top spout is plugged into the tank. Sorry, something just blew my eye. So this will be, so it's nice because I can control it. So, you know, I'll be driving down the road and, you know, quarter tank left, I can turn the pump on and it'll start pumping some diesel into my tank. It still will all be on my fuel gauge, so that's easy. There are no other extra devices to make sure, you know, anything's malfunctioning. It's all based off the fuel gauge. So I'm excited. We've been working on this for a while. He's got it done. He accidentally broke the T connector, so we're waiting on Napa to come drop off a new one, plug that in, and we're good to go. I'm excited to test this out, see how it goes. It's light. I'm happy about the storage room. I took my tools out of the back. They were under my bed, and now I can put tools back here. I'm probably gonna put 2 of my tarps in here, and then strap the other one on top of the trailer, or on the trailer actually, for this drive home. And that's about it. I'm excited to have an auxiliary tank, be able to drive much longer, be a lot more efficient in between stops. So there it is. So I'll give y'all a piece of this story now. So my drop off in Reno, long story short, and I'll insert some clips, so while I'm saying this you can kind of get a visual of what happened. You know, drove it 1,800 miles, no damage, nothing wrong. As soon as I pulled up, it was a one-way street in a residential neighborhood that had trees covering it, very similar to this, that were just covering the whole road. So as you see, these are sticking out, and you'll see, like I said, I'll put it in the video, but the space in which the customer told me to park, which was probably 30 feet past where I actually parked, or before where I actually parked, there was a car there, and so the truck and trailer I probably could have fit there, but I wouldn't have been able to back their truck off, and so I pulled forward just a little bit. I don't want to say not paying attention, because I was not cognizant of the tree sticking out. I rubbed the one branch that was actually sticking out on the truck, and so the customer was walking out as I was pulling up, and so, you know, she saw it, and I got out and immediately was like, you know, I apologize, like, you know, let's check it for damages. So I had to move. What I didn't like doing is I ended up having to pull into the middle of the one-way street to actually pull it out, because there was nowhere for me to do it. I don't like doing that because, one, I don't have cones. I don't have safety cones. I don't trust my flashers being the only thing that's going to keep somebody from actually hitting me. hitting me, hitting the truck, any of those things. It's also illegal. And so, you know, ironically, a cop had driven by right after I finished unloading too. And so that wasn't what I wanted to do, but I ended up having to do that. And so when we got it off, once I got it directly off, I had the owners drive it from there. There were other issues from the shipper that had to do with the truck that I was like, okay, I'm not playing with this anymore, because this is gonna add up if, you know, these things get pinned on me. So they backed it up by their house, and the owner went in and got some Windex, husband and wife. The husband went in and got Windex and was rubbing off the marks, and you can see, of course, you can see that the tree rubbed on it. And so wiping it off was like, okay, there's no scratches, there's no true damage. It looks scuffed, and I'll insert pictures here, but it looks scuffed. And you know, I sat there, you know, took some pictures, like I said, some videos, had a conversation with the owners, and was like, hey, look, you know, I will cover damages, you know, reasonable damages. Like, in my opinion, and I'd love to hear in the comments below, I believe you can buff these out. You're not compromising the decal. There's no scratch in the vinyl of the decal. It's a scuff. It's a rub mark. It wasn't a dry branch. The trees here are alive and well, and so it did more damage to the tree than it did the truck. And so anyway, so I had that conversation yesterday. Talked to my dispatcher, talked to the broker, had a conversation with the owners, was told that first thing this morning we'll have a conversation. So my my dispatcher reached out to me this morning and said, hey, they got a quote for the decal. Let me rewind. I told my dispatcher when I talked to her yesterday, I said, watch, they're gonna try and get me to replace the whole decal. You know, it's funny how things work out. I got a call this morning and said that the receiver was requesting that, well, the quote was $1,300, was requesting that I replace the sticker on the whole side of the truck, and that I pay for overnight shipping and labor. That's not included in the $1,300. So I obviously was extremely frustrated, because I felt through the conversations that we had that we were at an understanding that let's try and find the most cost-effective way to fix this. And I totally understand being, you know, on the other side. I'm sure it's like, okay, well, you know, I don't want a damaged vehicle. But as you guys have seen the pictures, you know, you've been able to form your own opinion of what you think is wrong with them. And I think that they're, you know, trying to pull a fast one, and it's disappointing more than anything, because, you know, sorry, it's disappointing more than anything because, you know, we took this load for a decent amount, but it costs money to get out here, and a good amount of money. And what I feel now is like, you know, you're closing the gap even more on what I'm going to get from this. I'm not getting rich off of this load. I'm paying my bills. And, you know, to request a whole new decal when you didn't request any sort of protections from the shipper, I mean, you know, I just rubs me the wrong way. And so I'll update y'all later when I find out exactly what either one we decided to do, what we came to an agreement on. But I want to be reasonable. Please tell me if I'm being unreasonable, if I'm in the wrong. Well, I know I'm in the wrong, but if I'm liable to pay for everything, like, please let me know. But I truly believe that there's a point of being reasonable, and there's a point of taking advantage. And I do feel that I don't know who exactly, but taking advantage of. Say it again. You got the yellow creeper? Yeah, it's right here. But I do feel that being taken advantage of, to replace a whole sticker on a whole side of a vehicle, when in those pictures you'll see maybe 2 or 3 lines from one end to the other at the very, very top.
that are not compromising the sticker, that don't tear, that don't rip. It's just it's tough, y'all. It definitely is. And this is the, you know, this is one of those ugly parts I told you about. We just spent, you know, 3.5, 4 days on the road, just spent, you know, X amount of dollars on gas, doing our best to protect this truck the whole time, going up mountains, sitting in traffic, all sorts of things, to get there, to have a, you know, a little oopsie, and, you know, then the tables turn on us of saying, hey, well, we want you to pay for a whole new sticker. I don't know, but I'll give you an update here in a little bit once I hear back from the broker. But I'm standing my ground. I told them, you know, I told them that, I called the decal guy and I said, hey, you know, from the pictures, it looks like this can be buffed out. He told me the only picture he got was what the customer had taken, which was my truck against the tree from a distance. So you can't see any damage. You just see the tree damaged. And I actually took pictures up close. And so I sent those to him and asked, hey, can this be buffed out? Because if it can be buffed out, I'll buy a buffer, I'll buy the wax, I'll pay for it, you know, the whole truck to be washed. But to pay $1,300 plus X amount of dollars for everything else they come up with, I think is unreasonable. And so hopefully we hear something back from him. If not, I'll pay $1,300 for the decal. They can do normal shipping and they can pay for the labor, because my job was to get the load there. I got the load there. I'll pay for the damages, but I'm not paying for the work to be done. So stand your ground. I'll let y'all know how this goes, but I wanted to go by as smooth as possible. You know, at the end of the day, you got to have a form of customer service in this business, but you also can't just let them run over you. So all right, y'all, so we just left Reno. Really we left Sparks, but Sparks is a city just east of Reno. Auxiliary tank is hooked up, pump works, everything's good. Just filled that up, filled my truck up. So we are making our way back to Texas. I say that lightly because I'm really just deadheading out of Reno. I think the route I'm going is actually going to take me directly east rather than going back down through Las Vegas and then Tucson or Phoenix and then Tucson. And I think I'm going north of that, so I think I'm going like Albuquerque, New Mexico. I don't know what interstate that is. I have to look at my GPS, but we're going that way. Right now I'm just trying to get out of, I'm getting out of Reno because the load boards yesterday on Memorial Day were terrible, and so I expected them to be good today. If y'all see a lot of breaks in this video, it's because my allergies are whooping my butt out here. But the load boards were terrible yesterday and they were bad again today. I mean, I had to stretch out. I was looking at like 500-mile deadheads to pick up a load today. It was forcing me to drive to California, which I had no interest in doing. So we are headed back east towards Texas, get up in the morning, find something, and yeah, get back on the road and head back to Texas. I'm really excited about this auxiliary tank, the transfer tank. It's going to help so much. I'm excited to not have any weight on right now. I am at 7.4 miles per gallon and steadily climbing. I'll probably get somewhere between probably 10 and 12 by the end of the day today. I mean, I'm cruising at 70 and I'm getting I'm averaging 16 miles per gallon. So when I'm averaging from the speed I'm going, I'm around 17, but my total average is 7.4. I don't know why I make everything so hard when I'm trying to explain it. Like, it could have easily been explained. But anyway, so yeah, we're going a different route. Hopefully this route has more stops, I guess. But also, I guess I don't need stops anymore because I should be getting upwards of 650 to 700 miles. Yeah, my range is around 700 miles now, that I have 41 gallons in the back, 30 under the truck. So we're gonna be around 700, I think. I did the math earlier. Y'all know I'm not great at math, so yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes, see how it goes in the mountains, and I will update y'all as I can. I also want to give y'all a little update on the issue with the client I just dropped off for yesterday. I have a feeling it's going to end up getting messy, which is what I didn't want it to do. I was told, I talked to the guy who makes the decals, and I told him, like, hey, this decal does not need to be fully replaced. It can be buffed out. Well, he reached back out and said, you know, we can ask a local decal group or whatever they're called, decal guys, and ask them to take a look at it and see if there's any actual damage, and then they'll make the decision whether I've got to pay or not. And the frustrating part for me with that is, like, why do I have to do that as the driver who dropped it off, but the receiver, the customer, doesn't have to do that to get me to pay $1,300 to replace it? Does that make sense? Like, they should have to do what I'm being asked to do, and can't just say, you know, cry wolf and say, oh, this is broken, I need it replaced, with no proof. But I need to prove that it's not damaged enough to actually do a full replace decal. So again, unfortunately, I think this situation is going to get a bit messy. Not looking forward to that, but you know, it is what it is. Can't control it. My dispatcher, she's helping on some compliance stuff. She is helping me right now while I'm on the road, figuring all that stuff out. You know, and she's been great communicating how I feel about the situation to the broker and the customer, and saying, hey, look, like, let's stop the games and let's figure this out, you know, the fair way. If I'm required to prove that the damage is not substantial enough to replace the whole decal, then the customer should have to prove that the damage is substantial enough for me to purchase it. And if it is, I will pay for it. But I know for a fact it is not. So again, hold y'all ground. It may suck, it may cause, you know, some disruption, but at the end of the day, like, we're talking $1,300 off of a load that was $5,000, and you've spent X amount of dollars. I don't even know exactly how much I've spent in gas, and you know, so we're taking money out of drivers. I just was willing to, you know, hotshot across 4 states in a matter of 3 days to get you, you know, your equipment. And so, you know, I hope that I have a good example to show y'all here soon of, you know, standing your ground and things working out in your benefit. And it may be the opposite. It may be, hey, you know, be extra careful because this is what you have to pay. I hope that's not the case. So by now it's probably been decided, and later on this video you'll find out. But just fingers crossed for me and all those drivers who, you know, are taking their time, or busting their butt, you know, driving the toughest conditions, all of those different things to get you your stuff on time. If you don't want it to be rushed, then, you know, there are other ways in which you can have that thing shipped to you and it come in pristine condition, such as having it covered, or, you know, whatever it may be, covered, however you want to deliver it. Just don't have extremely high expectations when, you know, we're coming through all these different types of conditions, and then just be reasonable. That's all I'm asking. I don't know, I'm ranting now, but it's just frustrating. I would hate to think that I just drove, you know, all this time when, again, I wasn't even going to get up and go. As y'all saw in the first part, I had no intent to drive over the weekend, and to lose money because something that I really couldn't control. Just, you know, cuts a little deep, but take it all as a learning experience and on to the next one. So check in with you guys later and get you some more information of where we're at. Peace. It's dark in here, but just want to give y'all a quick update. Been driving now for about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. I'm all the way up to 9.6 miles per gallon averaging, and so we're steadily climbing. I've only used up a quarter of a tank. I have not used my transfer tank yet. I'm gonna wait till I get down to a quarter tank. But yeah, I mean, we're doing way better than the 700 miles with both tanks. I think we're averaging closer to 800, which is just phenomenal. So I'm very happy. Although I'd like to have a load on my trailer, just getting this MPG back out of the 5s. And again, for the person that doesn't drive or doesn't drive yet or hasn't driven in the West Coast, I mean, we all know, and I'm not gonna sit here and just complain about gas prices, but it plays a big part when you are averaging 5 miles, or I mean 5, sorry. It plays a role when you're averaging 5 miles per gallon and you're getting gas in very rural areas, because they tend to price gouge. When they know that there's one gas station for the next 100 miles, you're not gonna get great gas rates. So you're paying a lot of money for gas. And so just knowing that I'm gonna be able to, the same drive, just to put it in context, and I'll talk about it again when I'm actually done with the drive, but between Reno and Las Vegas, I think I stopped 3, maybe 4 times to get gas. I think 4 is pushing it, but for sure I know I stopped 3 times. I more than likely will not have to stop once, just off of my normal gas tank, just off my 30-gallon tank, without even using my transfer. And I'll let y'all know. But that shows like how important your MPG is. And I use other stuff. I have an additive that I put into my my tank. It's called Hotshot Magic or something, and it's a diesel fuel enhancer. I use that, so that has seemed to be helping as well. But again, I'll explain more later on. So I just wanted to show y'all real quick. I'm going to use the auxiliary tank for the first time. The button down here, you'll see the light cut on. That button right here has got the pump going. And if you just watch right here, you will see that number increase. Numbers increasing, as well as the gauge will start increasing as well. So I just wanted to show y'all that. It's gonna fill it up for me. I'll run it till it gets to about 3/4 of a tank, and then I will cut it off again until it gets back down to 1/4. So that's what I'm gonna go with, is every time I get down to 1/4, I'll run it till about 3/4, a little less, because I think this pump is pushing out a lot of diesel into the fuel tank, and then we'll just go from there. All right, good morning again. We are almost home. I'll either make it home late today, early tomorrow. You know, I don't really know how I feel about picking up a load at this point. I really just want to get home and kind of get everything together. It's a lot of driving, you know, getting everything done with the auxiliary tank, staying in Reno for longer than I had planned. You know, really just trying to get home. And so we'll see. My dispatcher and I are, you know, trying to find something good. But if we don't, you know, it is what it is. I'm making phenomenal gas mileage right now. I'm at 12 miles a gallon. It's phenomenal for a truck compared to the 5.
So I've only filled up once, filled up my auxiliary tank, and I have refilled up my tank with my auxiliary tank, part of it. So I'm sure I'll need to fill up my auxiliary tank here soon, but just making, you know, good progress there. And so I kind of don't want to knock that knock that back, nor do I want to go out of the way to find a load. So I haven't decided what route I'm taking yet. I'm either taking like the northern route, which will take me through Albuquerque, Flagstaff, Arizona, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Lubbock, Texas, and then back home to Killeen, or the southern route, which is what I took up here, which is I think Phoenix, Tucson, Las Cruces, New Mexico, El Paso, and then back to Killeen. So haven't decided exactly which one I'm gonna do yet. Make that decision here in a few minutes, and if we find a load on the way, we find a load. But I need to get home, got stuff to do, been gone too long, and then I got to get ready for another trip on the road that I'm gonna take, which will be next week, or yeah, it'll be next week. I leave probably Tuesday. I'll leave, head up towards Washington, D.C., where my best friend and brother is getting married next weekend. So I'm actually gonna work on my way up there, park the truck while I'm up there for a few days, and then find a load coming back. So yeah, again, it's been an interesting trip. Okay, so little update on the decal on my load that I dropped. Got a call this morning that the heat wrap guy, the decal guy, said that they might be able to heat gun the rub out of the sticker. And so he hit us up this morning and said that, and so we reached out to the customer and said, hey, we would like to send somebody out there, or you go over to somebody, we'll pay for it, and take a look at the damage to see what needs to be done. Again, if there's no dent, if there is no rip in the vinyl, then the vinyl does not need to be replaced, and the heat gun will probably get it out, is what the guy who did the decal was saying. So I'll update y'all when I hear some more. But this just, again, goes to show, do not just settle for what they're asking, because again, like, we can really get done dirty if we gotta buy a whole new sticker. Somebody else in this position could have really gotten taken advantage of. And again, it's tough because you want the money, like, and again, for me, I mean, you know, this is my first month of my business bills, and so they're kind of high. It's the first ones, and so you know, I need kind of that cushion to be able to pay the gas off from this trip, you know, those types of things. But you know, I'm gonna try and wrap it up by the end of this week. We've reached out. She's been pretty quick with it. Hopefully she'll reach back out to us today and we can find a solution to this. I'm very tempted to just pay for it, but I don't want to. So we'll figure it out. But again, I'll keep y'all updated when I find out some more. And yeah, see y'all later. What's up, y'all? Just wanted to update you at the end of this video. I obviously stopped recording and didn't really create much content for this part 2. The trip didn't go as planned in terms of picking up a load and bringing it back to Texas. As I said, I had to get home, and so really just grinded it out, got back home, and have been able to reset and get ready for this trip, this OTR I'm about to do, going out to the East Coast for the next couple of weeks. So I wanted to cover and give an update on the load that was dropped off in Reno. I thought I talked about it, but I didn't in either video, that what they requested, and part of the reason I was kind of pushing back so much, is they had requested $1,300 to replace a whole side of the truck, plus the cost of overnight shipping, and plus the cost of labor to get that put on. I just thought that was an unreasonable request, and so that's why I ultimately pushed back, and have since, to update, I've been in conversation with the customer by myself. I asked them, if we can get the broker out of it, just kind of speaking, having middlemen in conversations, especially something like this, isn't helpful. We weren't able to really understand each other clearly with our asks and what we were trying to figure out. And so her and I have been communicating one-on-one, and the last I heard, she was waiting to get an estimate from the wrap guy for the heat gun, and so the heat gun fix. So we'll see. I'm pleased with how it's kind of turned out. Again, very embarrassed and frustrated that this even happened, but again, you've got to realize it's going to happen in hotshotting. There are going to be things that pop up, and you're just going to have to figure out how to solve those issues. And so if you could take something from this, just don't give in immediately, exhaust all your resources and make sure. I want the customer, and the customer still says, that I've had great customer service and was very respectful and very quick to get on this and fix it. And even my pushing back has not caused a disconnect there. We just want to come up with a solution. And so we'll see. If I get a chance to, I'll bring it up later on in a video of a final update. But like I said, I'm pleased with where we're at now. Probably going to be $100, $200 fix. Much better than $1,300 plus labor plus overnight shipping. And so just wanted to clear that one up. As I said, the rest of the trip, I really just put my head down and got home. I think the last part of the video, I was probably in the New Mexico area still. I did have to get another permit in Arizona. This one was more expensive. I think it was $14. When I took I-10, it was paid $28 in Arizona, taking I-40. The gentleman at the desk, when I spoke to him and asked why it was more, especially because I didn't have anything on my trailer at that point, I figured out that it wasn't a factor that I had stuff on my trailers, just where my weight was, period. Being more than 12,000 pounds, you'll pay at every time you take either I-10 or I-40 in New Mexico. But that they charge by, somehow they calculate the mileage. There's more I-40 in Arizona than I-10 in Arizona, and so that's what they're charging you for. Paid that. Everything else was smooth on the way home. Drove through a little storm, nothing special, but got back to the house. And so again, at the end of the day, this trip was great. Sometimes y'all gotta bite the bullet. That's why they say when you get in this business, if you can't be OTR for a good amount of time, then you're not going to make money in this business. And I consider it a job. I'm in politics, and I have things that I have to do that I cannot be gone as long as I would like to be on the road. And so it puts me in situations where, if I could have stayed on the road a couple more days, I would have had some loads coming back home into Texas. And so that's the difference in being simply just an owner operator running a business, and somebody like me who's driving to create the capital and learn and grab the experience to then expand this business and bring people on who can spend more time on the road. And so by now you have seen the first part of the video, and this will be rolling out very soon after that. And I plan to create some pretty cool content going out on the East Coast. As you've seen in the first video, I have some new camera angles that I'm trying here soon. I'm going to get a drone and just continue to add to this content. So I truly appreciate y'all. We're creeping up on 100 subscribers already. You guys have been engaging my videos, and it truly means a lot to me. This has been a fun experience, and I want to continue to bring y'all whatever y'all are looking for. So if there are any questions, thoughts, concerns, whatever it may be about anything that has to do with Hotshot, please feel free, comment, follow me on Instagram at I-14 Transportation, and you know, let's continue to educate each other, because there's too much money out there for us to keep each other down. So, all right, I appreciate y'all. Love. See y'all later.